I'm Kate and I make junk journals, and today we're going to create a transparent pocket with a cute little peekaboo tech. So last week we were kind of starting to wrap up this journal by working on this last panel in the back of our cover. And if you didn't see the tutorial where I created it, I'll put the link in the description. But essentially I just put a file folder on the back of my cover. And last week we designed the bottom of the panel and we made this little notebook page. So this added a lot of bulk, so we're gonna really need to try to keep it flat and simple while we finish up this panel. So I thought of something that is cool and interactive and interesting, but pretty flat. The inspiration for this comes from something I did on one of my envelopes in my journal, and I just took some transparent paper and sewed it in, and then it creates these pockets that you can see through. So I did it here, and then here's another journal that I'm working on, and I did it on the inside of this envelope as well. And I just created a little tuck there and then a little transparent pocket in the back. So both times I've done this before, it's been on the back of an envelope, and I like doing it in the envelopes because then when this envelope is all glued together, then you don't really see the back stitching, which, you know, is fine, and you could have that be a design on the back page, but so far I have just kind of hid that. But this time we're going to do it in here, and so it will show through on the back, but we might not have to cover up too much because it is kind of cool and a nice pattern. So let's go ahead and make it our top panel. So we're going to be working on this part today. This idea also works great just on a normal page, or like I said, I use it in envelopes. So if you're not making this journal with us, then you can still totally incorporate this concept into a different project. So I have here just some transparent vellum paper, and I'm gonna measure it to be just a little bit smaller than this panel that I'm sticking it on. So I'll just eyeball it and just kind of give myself a little border around all the edges. And look, that's pretty close to half. So I'm gonna do half because that's gonna make it a little bit easier if I wanna stack them. Okay, so now that I have the width right, I'm gonna get the length by just doing the same thing. We're gonna fold it up, leaving a little bit of a border, kind of pinch it right there and cut it right there. So now I'm going to just lightly glue it, and I only need to lightly glue it because I'm also gonna sew it. So this is more like to hold it in place than to actually like secure it on there for all time. So just a really light line of glue on the very edge, and we're just putting it on two sides and the bottom to make a pocket. And I will kind of look around the borders and place it kind of in the center, just like that. So I'm gonna take my awl and I'm just gonna poke holes to where I want to loop the thread through so that I can poke it evenly. You can also put a ruler next to it and just kind of lightly mark with a pencil. And I have also just kind of like eyeballed it too, which I always do a really bad job at, and like some are really wide and some are really close, which, you know, is kind of a junky, homey look, so, you know, I don't mind it too much, but I really like the way it looks when it is even. It looks just a little more beautiful. So let's go for that and try to make it even. So I'll just start at the top and poke a hole. And then you can do as fat or thin a stitch as you want. And I think I want to do them a little bit fatter. So I'm just going to poke a hole and just kind of like skip those two geometric shapes and then poke another hole. So it's probably like, I don't know, that seems like a little less than ½ an inch, but close to ½ an inch. And it's not exact, but it's gonna look close. It's not gonna be as wonky as when I just completely eyeball it. Okay, so I'm going to count the holes because it's important that you go down at the last. So you don't want to be coming up and then have like nowhere to tie off your string. So we're going to count them, 1, 2, 14, 15. So that means that we'd be coming up right there, which is great. If we do 15 on the other side, we'll be going down. So we want to make sure that there's an even amount on the bottom in between this hole and the other hole. So we're going to keep it even. And we'll see if we line it up with these, if it's even. If not, we can alter it slightly. 6, 7, 8. That will be perfect. And then we'll just poke those holes as well. And line it up on this side and finish off our holes. Okay, once again, make sure you have an even number of holes. It doesn't matter how many, as long as it's not an odd number. You won't be left not knowing where to put the end of your string when you're done. And I like to use this string, I think it's a 3-ply string, and I peel apart the plies to where I just have like a smaller little ropey thing, string, and I like the way that the white looks. I could do it fatter, but it looks good and there's less bulk if I just do one of the little plies. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure it to be longer than that. So I have plenty of string, and then I'll grab just a little needle, thread that on there. Then I'm going to start from the back and go up through. So I'm going to poke that down. Do you know what I just realized would be fun and really simple and flat is if we mirrored this on the back side. Let's do that. I didn't ever think of this before. That'll be great. So I'm gonna just quickly measure that to line up with all those holes. I'm going to cut that, then just glue it very lightly. Just glue that there. Oh, I'm so glad I thought of that right now. Now we take our little string, and I'm not gonna use my awl to poke through because I pretty much have a guide, and this is really easy to sew through, so we'll just keep it like that. Before I pull it all the way through though, I'm just gonna knot this end so that it stops and does not pull all the way through, and then we'll put a little piece of glue on it too so that it stays put. So we'll pull that through and I'll stop there, cut a little piece, and we'll just kind of dab like kind of underneath it and on it so that when it pulls tight, it gets stuck to the page. Okay, so we've got that in there, and now we just follow through and go back up through that hole, and we're just gonna do this all the way around. So I think you get this part, so we'll just speed it up. We did it! We started on this side and we ended on this side as well. So that was perfect. And I'm just gonna kind of make a little knot right at the edge of that. Make a little second knot right at the edge of that. Give it a little trim and a little bit of glue for good measure. So now we have these two transparent pockets, which are really fun. Whatever we put inside, we'll be able to see. So I'm gonna choose something with a little personality. So let's go ahead and choose this little best day card. And it is a little bit too fat, so I'm going to trim the top and bottom just a touch. And then that will fit in much better. And we can slip that in there. We can have it to where you kind of have to reach under for it. And it doesn't have to stick out. Or you can cut a little circle here and make it easy to pull out. Or you could put a tab in there. But it's kind of fun just to stick it back there, and it's easy to reach your finger in and pull up whatever's in there. And then we can find something happy and fun to stick in here. Like this random shoe card. So let's take off that extra and we'll stick a shoe in there. For this little back page, I'll probably just leave it just like that. And for this front page, I do think that I want to add like a little tuck or something fun. So I'll just grab a few random little pieces to create a little cluster, and then we'll glue these together. And if we do it to where there is space here, but it goes across and down, then we can make one of those little peekaboo tucks where it sticks out right there. That kind that Kathleen, my mother-in-law, loves to do, and I kind of got that idea from her. I'm sure lots of people kind of do that kind of thing, but she's the one that inspired me. So I'm just gonna glue the bottom and side corner of that, and then just the edge of that to kind of create pocket space. And now we just need to find a card to go there. And this one's super cute. We'll just put that right there. And then you can kind of see it peekaboos through. So cute. So there we go. So there's our fun little see-through pocket right there. And then we've got a duplicated see-through pocket on the back side. And then we've kind of created a little cluster and a little peekaboo tuck. Look, it's coming along. So now all we have to do is do this side and this side. So we'll do that next time, and then we'll be able to finish the cover, and then we'll sew in our signatures, and this one will be all done. So thanks for crafting with me today, and if you make this or something inspired by this tutorial, then I would love to see it. You can email me pictures at katesjunkjournals@gmail.com, or you can just tag me on Instagram at katesjunkjournals. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love it if you would share any of my videos on social media. Make sure you check out the description because I have a bunch of links and discounts to some really cool places, and I'll see you next week. So now, oops.